And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to our continuing live coverage from the Nutana Curling Club with the 2016 Canadian Mixed Doubles Curling Championship. We will be featuring the game on Sheet 5 this afternoon. Danielle Inglis and Mike Anderson, Team Ontario versus Joanne Courtney and Reed Carruthers. My name is Sean Joyce, Susan Lang with me at our broadcast location.
Good afternoon and welcome, curling fans.
And Carrie Tarasoff running the board to my left. We're already underway here in the first end, a few minutes late getting the practices done, but rushing through this first end, hopefully we can be back on schedule. It's been a tight day so far.
So the team of Courtney and Carruthers will have hammer in this first end. Danielle Inglis, with her very first shot, drew into the back button there, frozen.
Sure.
Joanne Courtney attempted to follow her down with that yellow rock, and as you can see, it just bumped off a little bit from Danielle's red one. That's the one in the back corner of the forefoot. And since then, both Reed and Mike have had draws down into that button area.
Definitely thought I was close to back.
This is our first time on Sheet 5. We were getting pretty familiar with Sheet 4, but we do have cameras here on 2 of the 8 sheets at the Nutana Curling Club. So we'll take a look and see how Sheet 5's been running. Already it looks like lots of curl as Danielle is out to the edge of the 12-foot holding the broom here for Mike Anderson's draw into the center.
Looking for the tight guard, I think, here. This is really curling.
Sure we still want this to curl?
No, we don't.
That's certainly more curl than what we saw on Sheet 4.
Okay.
Definitely over-curled what they had in mind, but not a bad spot.
Okay.
Can't get to the nose of that yellow right now. All the games here in Draw 4 are from the C and D pools. They all played the second draw. This is the fourth. They'll play one more yet tonight.
Stay hair high.
See the lineups there. The live scoring is available online. We'll try to update you as we have time, but one of the things we're finding through these first 3 draws,
this might come up a hair.
we don't have a lot of extra time here in this game. It's rush, rush, rush. The time clocks dictate that. I was talking to a couple of the timers, and we understand there was one team so far that's been fairly tight for time in their first game, but for the most part, the team's handling the clocks okay.
So Joanne Courtney coming down with a big weight hit.
Exchanges a few stones and does leave the yellow sitting shot rock at the top of the button now.
Guarded. Yes.
Yeah.
Ran that one straight back. Guarded with a nice little pocket there at the back.
Yeah.
And so my mistake there, it looks like we've got Reed throwing rocks 1 and 5.
Yeah.
And Joanne throwing 2, 3, 4. We were saying most teams seem to be going with the female player at rocks 1 and 5, but not everybody. We saw the Murphys out of Ontario also going with this same roster format, and that's not to say that it's has to be set in stone. You can change every end if you wish. But
yeah, we haven't seen anybody do that yet, but that's not to say that they can't. I wonder if part of the reason I was talking to Reed just before the game when we were getting him mic'd up, this is our first chance live to watch. Reed is one of the players who throws with a delivery device, the crutch that he uses, so he has to toss it aside real quick to pick up a brush that he can actually sweep with. So this is our first chance seeing a team like that, and I wonder if that played into the decision. Just throw have to deal with that switch of the crutch for the brush one less time and end.
What kind of weight are you thinking?
that was a really nicely played
How much?
shot by Mike. Angle's
How
not
much
as
weight? Heel? Okay.
not as conducive for this run
This
in,
is
but
hard, hey? Okay. This will curl up a hair. Okay. Close. Yeah!
so must have been a little tight with that.
Makes contact, does drive the two out of the back, but the first stone just spins around, actually moved that yellow a bit closer to the front, and it is the red sits for a shot rock on the edge of the button.
certainly one of the trademarks of any Rachel Holman teammate, and that's the capability of throwing big weight accurately. And Joanne certainly, she didn't miss that shot by very much at all, but can throw massive weight. Massive, at least in the girls' term, that's for sure, and certainly is comparable to a lot of men's teams. I think Reed can throw weight too, but maybe that played into their game plan also, where they want Joanne throwing those big bailout shots.
Mike Anderson had been in the house to try to take a look at what they were going to do here. I think they've opted for just the guard, but not a lot of chatter. Now this team has played together before. They were actually in Ottawa last year, just as one of the teams that got in off points. Won Ontario this year.
Yeah, tuck it.
Shit.
So
Yeah, you gotta cross it a hair.
looks like the decision is Reed doesn't even get up and sweep, as he's left his broom down there at the far house. Joanne Courtney, though, likely one of the best women sweepers in the game, so that's not a bad decision either to
I don't know if I call it
just
easy
let
for
Reed
three,
call
but
the
it's
line.
there for three.
I'm not sure what he's playing here either. He could try the run. You might be able to kill both reds, leave 3 yellows in there, but certainly some risk with that as well. Looks like that's what he's playing.
So this rock staying quite straight on this center line.
Just
And
just
curl up.
passes it by everything.
One red.
And so it will be
Looked like it wanted to go free throw.
a steal of 1.
Well, and that was all set up by the very first
Yeah.
shot of the end. Danielle put that
Does you
rock
do it
in
all the time?
That might have been the one that ended it.
that
Oh no,
counted,
that was one of the other ones spun up. So
but it certainly put the pressure
Yep.
on early, and then when Reed just bounced off that little bit, it gave Mike the opportunity to sit in on top, and then after that the Carruthers Courtney crew here was chasing. So Danielle, a skip of her own women's team, which is really interesting when you're throwing the first rock and the fifth rock. It's nice to have that skip experience at throwing the final rock at the end, but the pressure of being lead and making that very first shot of the end is a different kind of a pressure of throwing the last rock at the end. I know a lot of skips that are quite happy to throw the last rock and not this first one.
It's all there.
Mike calling
It's
the
all there.
wait on
all
this
there.
end.
Straight freeze.
It's not light by any stretch, so
We're
another
there. We're there. We're there.
very good.
Okay.
Mike plays third for Mike Harris in Ontario and in the Ontario Tanker Championships this year.
Yeah, she tapped it about that.
a big finish on that draw coming in. Does get to the nose, taps it a few inches, but again, something we've seen a lot of so far. Everything dead in line behind that center guard.
Look there. Wait's close. All there.
This is one thing
one's
we
taken
haven't
a-
seen a lot. Reed Carruthers trying to chase that stone and going to the turn maybe that he prefers, playing his out turn rather than throwing the same turn. Still made the shot.
Nicely swept by Joanne there. That just got by. That took not a big jump on
Yeah,
them,
you
but
run a tighter
certainly
path than me for sure.
maybe
Nice little
curled a
jiggle
little
there,
bit
though.
sooner.
Left themselves room to get that red out later if they have the opportunity.
So again, this game is all about controlling this center line and the top part of the button. And a nice angle on this shot also. So
yeah, both teams back to back. They're setting up good angles for themselves.
Sorry? Okay. Hey, Adam, line's good.
So
Line's close, Reed. No, line's
What are they
good.
playing?
Wait, don't. Oh, room.
It's so hard to tell because they don't
Oh,
have.
you're heavy.
You don't call anything.
Line's fine. Don't need you for line. Whoa. Sit. Eek.
And
listen
just in
to
time.
Joanne.
Yeah, that bumps off just a little bit more. He might have left a double or perhaps even a triple on the yellows, but he's got another good angle.
You like that or the freeze? Is that?
A bit of a plan change there. Danielle was going to hold the broom, but has come down to sweep this stone.
Heavy, 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 heavy.
That rule is new this year. We've talked
Yep,
about it a
fine.
bit already. You used to have to hold the broom. Now
Hard.
you do have the option to come down and sweep. So
Hard!
they haven't necessarily always got this worked out as to how they're going to do it.
Hard! Hard!
Wants to tap the red.
Keep
Has to
going,
get by the
go!
guard first of all. Gonna rub. Actually,
Hard
that
on the shooter. Go on the shooter. Hard, hard, hard.
So already trying to get it past so there's no hit and roll into that button area.
well, the yellow-red combination now probably jams. That didn't work out bad.
Hard.
If they get it by, I don't think they were ever
Driver
getting
just
onto
throw it
their own
hard.
stone. I think they were coming onto the yellow.
I like that though, because now it's a jam.
Again, that's always the choice that you have to
Okay.
make in this mixed doubles game. As you said, that time Danielle went to throw. Whether you want somebody in the house to be watching the line, whether you want the thrower to be
Board.
watching the line,
Okay.
how fast you want the sweepers to get onto, or the sweeper to get onto the shot. That a lot of decisions have to get made out here, and say with a short amount of time to play with,
Sorry, what?
you have to be
What?
very efficient with your
Reed.
decisions. But again, that's a big
Hey.
component of the game when the decision was made this year to modify that rule that you didn't have to have a target broom in the house. The downside of that part is that now you get no feedback on your throw. You're not sure if you're just that little bit out or maybe did something with your release. So adds some extra challenges to these curlers.
Solid. Oh, it's got a curl.
Looking to move some things around here. Would have liked to have hit that a little bit more
little
solidly,
solid.
but does at least move one red out so that there might be a way to get the other two out.
Yeah. They're just drawing the pocket. Might have same shot again.
That's right, if they can get this shot of Mike's on this in turn, just in behind that yellow one, that will create all sorts of difficulties then for Courtney Carruthers.
Hold on.
And as we're
Nice
seeing
bid.
lots of
Yep.
curl in this spot.
Where's the weight? Whoa! Room! Whoa! Curl! Close! One! Straight! Hard!
Wants
Go!
to get to the
Go,
inside
go,
of
go,
his
go,
own.
go, get in there.
Does, and just wiggles in a little bit. That's a great spot.
Stayed up just high enough of that side red one too
I
that
don't think it's that good.
can't make
There
a play on it.
might be room to play the yellow-red. The yellow's got to be a piece out in the open at least.
Probably a good half anyways from the line that I've got.
It's probably at least as much as, as at most what you need to hit. If you get this too thick, he might bring the red stone off the side of the other one and then straight back to hit it on a bit of an angle to get it out. Well, she wanted a bit of an angle, looking to get some curl. They need to get enough of this yellow stone. That's real close. Well, just touches that stone at the edge of the forefoot. That's enough to straighten it out, and it jams on the stone at the back.
I thought I floated that. I did. I can't believe I made it curl.
Same exact shot.
Pretty
Just push
good.
this to here and come into here.
I thought she threw it pretty nicely, but she wasn't quite as convinced.
Yeah, in the end, if anything, I thought she over curled.
Just drop.
It's that first
Like
one just a
you
little
wanna
bit thinner.
move
She
our
gets the
outside
second one
like a
by that
foot.
side red rock, and then it doesn't jam at the back.
So needing this button weight again.
Yeah, this is a big shot here. There's a double available on those reds if you don't do anything. And if you stay on the outside, there'll still be at least a double, if not a triple, for quite a few points. And this is a long ways out. Trying to get it to curl. It's a long ways out and heavy. Well, taps that back and rolls away. It's going to be a tap back for three. I don't even know if she has to move that.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever.
Might already be sitting to. So Reed Carruthers,
Just bump it a foot.
chance to come down, and to be on the safe side, just make sure they move that red stone. Stay anywhere close to the nose, you're good.
So Joanne, certainly the workhorse on this team,
Yeah,
getting
this
ready.
will
It
come
looks
up
like
a
she
hair.
sweeps basically all 5
You got it, Reed.
rocks here. Once in a while, Reed will be in for the sweep, but that's understandable.
That's nice.
I did happen to see him have to get up and sweep one of his own earlier in the game, and you see the brush, and you might have seen it just on the left-hand side as he slid out. He does have it laying on the ice, so if he's going to sweep, he has to discard the crutch and pick up a brush, and away he goes. No need to sweep on that one. Makes the nose hit, rolls just a little bit to the center, picks up his 3 points.
I can do this. Let me set.
Danielle Inglis and Mike Anderson will have last rock here as we play the third, but now trailing by 2. Well, they've had good setups to both ends. It's actually just that last shot, and if Danielle's a little lighter and maybe a little tighter, that had a lot of room coming in, even with the weight she had. Gets to the inside of her own stone. Would have been really tough for Reed Carruthers to even score there.
Well, I thought Mike had a really nice just little tip into the button there, but then Joanne followed that down with that come around bump weight type of shot to move your thing around and sit 1 if not 2 on her shot. So
Hey, Reed.
saw some excellent shots
Yeah, speed's nice in this spot, I think.
this end until that last one for Danielle.
Okay, you got it right on it.
So the first opportunity for Reed to throw the first stone of the end.
It's real close. How's line? Okay. You're there right now, I think. Don't need to. Yeah, we're
So not
pumped,
laying
we're
a
pumped.
brush to this one at
This
all.
one looks a little strong as well, and like to get close to the nose.
This is where Reed bounced off on his first one in the first end.
So you don't mind that little bit of a bump. It's the fact that you didn't get to the nose that causes the difficulty.
Oh, that's quick.
Whichever you want.
Yeah, no, I really liked it. Yeah.
Danielle Inglis now with her first
It's
stone.
close.
Looking to come in top 4.
And this one's a long ways out.
And it's not light either. It's like this
Are we
spot
gonna
has
yellow
really
yet?
picked up speed since the practice rounds.
little late. It's okay.
Comes into the back 4 foot, does leave a bit of a pocket.
Just T-line.
Oh, good.
Weight's good. We're tapping. Tapping.
Trying to sweep that out to get to the inside, but it just stays a bit on the outside.
That's right. We haven't seen any sweeping 4 weight, that's for sure. It's all been line here.
Shoot.
Well, and that's
Everybody's
all
been
under
4
curls
feet
so
heavy.
far, yeah.
And I don't think it's necessarily that the broom's in the wrong spot. It's just that the weight hasn't quite matched up with where they've put this broom.
What about? Looks like a lot. This is better.
So changing the shot here.
I looked at bumper first, but yeah, you don't really need to move that far, even if you move it 4 or 5 inches. Well, they back to the bumper.
And now we're
shot.
back to shot number 1.
Wow, and that picked. That's gone absolutely sideways. Well, that is a bad break. Those hurt enough when you're throwing 8 rocks in end. When you only actually get to throw 5, to lose one of them to a pick, it's hard to recover from.
No, sorry, I was just thinking we'd be behind the tee line.
Oh, no.
Well, and it's bad enough that it happens, but you know, you need to learn something from every shot that's been thrown. And when a rock like that picks, you get absolutely no information or feedback on your shot.
Yeah, that was by far the hardest pick we've seen so far today. We've seen a few rocks pick, but that one real early had no chance to even, there was not even a plan B available out of it. It went that hard.
You know, they were trying to figure out where to put the broom for that kind of weight. And it looked like Mike threw the weight he wanted.
Do it.
So I say no new information on that.
I thought it was light too. Like,
Just nutted on that.
It's a nice little bump there, and you can't get this Yellowstone out with 1 rock.
really? You didn't like, yeah, I guess.
Mickey Anderson
If we
looking
nose
to
it
get
with
inside
if
the
we
nose.
nose it real hard, does it go around? 'Cause
Light.
I can't get it out right now.
I think so.
Couldn't be light. Wow, I still thought that was light.
Mike wondering about if the nose hit. It'll come straight back, catch the edge of the yellow,
Good call. Good.
come across the top of that red, and you may get it to spin out, but you may well lose both of the reds as well.
Line's ball over there.
Well, right about now, those back red ones aren't helping him.
Down there.
How's
Very much at all.
So I'll just throw like normal at it.
And I think even just a little bit of an inside roll, if he can ever accomplish that, nose or better.
I think like just a couple inches of ice. Yeah. Whoa. Whoa!
He's absolutely got to get to the nose, though. Can't hit this on the outside. Nothing out of the brush. Does hit it on the outside, jams it onto the red. And fortunate to leave 2 reds in the rings.
And these yellows all behind the tee line.
Right.
Well, and grouped for a double, so Joanne has to be a little careful here. You want to protect these 2, but at the same time, you don't want to leave a triple. Actually, with that 1 red biter at the back of the 12-foot here, if you ever left a triple, it could be a big end going the other way. And we've already seen a couple of rocks under curl here this end. Just got to get a piece
I
under
think
cover.
one of those back reds is going to catch the yellow closest to the button. It's going to be hard to scoot through there. So I think Joanne has a tremendous opportunity to put some major pressure on for a steal opportunity.
Looks light to
Picks
me.
are getting annoying.
Top 12? You're right.
You do.
I might have
What
some.
happened in this?
We're
This
too
one's a
intense.
long
She
ways
thought
out.
she was
Yeah,
light,
it
but
looked like lots to me. This is coming right in, and it's out there a long ways.
Jeez. Oh.
Well, there's definitely a double
I
there.
can't hit it there.
What?
I can't get it there.
Like on this.
There's a guard there.
darn those guards.
I
was
think there's
thinking
lots of
this.
room to get it there.
But I don't mind the double and like flop there though.
Why not? Because that at least it brings multiple into play, right?
Sure. You can just hold it hard.
So they're just going to look to make the double on the two yellow stones that are almost frozen and roll on top of the other stone. Now, if they can make this shot, that one yellow at the back of the forefoot's going to be an awfully lonely looking stone.
Especially if Mike is able to keep this in position where he can play it for the raise on set it up for Danielle's last shot. And again, the weight on this out turn is really fooling them because Joanne
Well,
thought she was light.
I think he floated this out a little bit. He's got to get to the nose or the inside. Well, got it inside, and that's one of those spots where it might have been beneficial to have a sweeper.
Shit. It's a little tight or?
Yeah, just tight.
Okay,
Very
they said he
fully
was
this
tight.
line here.
Of course, with no sweeper, there wasn't much they could do about it.
Roll to right there.
So each team letting the other one off the hook a little bit here with opportunities.
Side speed wise.
Same.
Yep.
I didn't see the call here from Reed. He could hit the open stone.
Could hit it, or he could
I think they'll be
guard
drawing
in
again,
top
but
8.
they have not had one curl far enough yet this end. If he hangs it out, he could leave a double for 3.
Well, everybody's been heavy on their draws, so we haven't
True.
we haven't had a real good look at what top 8-foot sweeping weight would do here for the line.
Okay.
And Reed calling the
Looks all there right now.
come around.
Still a long ways out there.
We're at T-line.
So this one's starting to make a bit of a move now as the weight's coming off.
Yeah, making a big move now. He'll have a good piece behind cover. That's all he needs.
Sit.
And we'll come to
Shot.
rest right on the button.
Whichever one you like. Oh, just throw the freeze and all. Like you got to move it like a foot that way.
No, I actually wanted to sweep that too.
Danielle going to have to throw enough weight to move this
Like at the
stone.
guard
And
point, I was thinking
to
sweep
your
it
point,
like
Susan, we hadn't
before,
seen
like,
anybody
no
throw one
problem.
light enough yet, and
Good shot,
she's
Reed.
going to have to throw the weight to move it here. If she doesn't catch the curl,
Just play a straight draw.
go
and
right by
I'll
everything.
sweep
It
the
would be a
tab
steal
it.
of 2.
Yep, Reed only needed to be
Sure.
maybe 1 or 2 inches lighter to make it absolutely perfect. But this is huge pressure here for Danielle, a very sensitive shot to play. As you said, the steal of 2 is a high possibility.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you're probably getting 1 or giving up 2. And this one's also a long way out and still going the other way.
Trying to work the corner here to get some more of the
heavy.
curl.
It's 14-4.
I know it's like back to 12. Okay.
Yeah.
2.
And it will slide by everything with that extra bit of weight. It is a steal of 2, and Joanne Courtney, Reed Carruthers now take a 5-1 lead.
That's all good.
Score up there, Reed.
That was such a nice draw of Reed's.
And,
Pull that weight off.
you know, an interesting turnaround in 2 ends that we saw in the first end. Everything that direction was going huge and seems to have straightened out just a little bit already here in the third end, and you know, really caught both teams off guard a little bit.
What's that?
Is it in front
Well,
of
and
the
certainly
dot?
the speed.
Like just biting
Yeah.
the
I
dot.
don't think they were going deep because it had straightened up so much. They just couldn't get over that. It had sped up by probably 6 feet anyways.
Well, you throw that little bit extra weight. I don't think Danielle's last shot, her weight was that bad. She had to move that stone. I think her weight was close. Just as soon as you throw that little bit extra, it just does not curl at all.
She didn't really even have the luxury to
Yeah.
come in and sit on the top rock to get second shot out of it.
She had to move it. Scoreboard kind of dictates forcing him to one wasn't a good good shot. You needed to try to score there.
Oh, good.
Well, and now playing the out turn coming back towards the home end. Doesn't appear to be quite as fast. Had to go on this one all the way down to catch a corner of the button.
Intern. Cool.
Again, I always like when teams early in the game learn both sides of the sheet. We've seen a couple of games where they tend to stay on the one side, the one turn, but you never know when you're going to have to be going on that other side. So I like when they're figuring out the rock and the rock line and weight on both sides. We've seen a little bit of play on that out turn in the second end, but primarily our shots have been this in turn coming home.
We're bouncing. Okay.
Well, didn't get quite the finish they were looking for there. The little bump didn't hurt them. It's the fact that they rolled open.
Sorry, I didn't realize I had like back forward.
What's the situation there, Reed? Okay, it's quick in the spot, so I'll just throw my draw weight then. Okay.
So I haven't quite figured out, maybe it's when Reed comes down to sweep versus when Reed is in the house and Joanne gets up to sweep.
Well, I think it looks like it's on the in turn he's going to sweep, because Joanne with a slider on probably isn't as comfortable sweeping from the left side as we look at it.
Yeah, go then.
And Reed, of course, had those years with Jeff Stoughton at second, so he's not completely unfamiliar with the sweeping role.
For that, you don't do much comment before the game.
Got to the inside of that, tapped it just a little bit. Not sure who's shot, but the Yellowstones are certainly in the better position right now.
Those Reds are looking pretty vulnerable, aren't they?
Well, and that top red, especially the one that was just delivered, it's going to take a while before you can even remove that stone.
Great sweep.
Yeah, it seems like Joanne and Reed have made a lot of adjustments here from their first end, and they've been very precise.
No, I'm good.
And when they have made a mistake, like where Joanne was heavy on that guard attempt in the third end, this duo hasn't just quite capitalized to take advantage of it.
Yep.
Well, this one really curling as well, and again, looks like a pick. And
not again.
I think it's the same stone.
And again, that's where their third end went sideways when they had that pick.
Did manage to get that one into the rings, and it stays in play, but at least for right now, not seeing much that you can do with that stone.
Freezing the one I just threw. Just top four.
That's two ends in a row now.
Try to get to the inside of that side
Exactly.
yellow.
Heard Mike commenting on that. There should be a rule where you're allowed one free broom bang a game. That's certainly justifiable.
Gone.
Yeah, light's fine.
All right.
Just inside edge of 8, I think.
We got to score, so try and run something.
Fine. Mine's good.
I'm not throwing six rock again the rest of the week.
You can go then. room.
That one's getting the little black marker.
Oh, I think you're there. If you can, a little, Reed. curl.
And brings it right into the pocket of the yellows, and now you've got 2 yellows sitting at the top half of the button that neither one of them's easy to remove.
I'm still thinking about their 6 rock, how they're going to manage it for the next few ends here.
Otherwise, you just hit it into here and
if you
into
do
here,
believe
and we're
you've
not
got a
gonna be able
bad
to
rock
get into that.
in 5 thrown rocks, who gets it?
Mm-hmm.
At least like across the face of this. This will just stay here. Like we can't. I don't think we can get rid of more than 1 rock.
Get rid of 2 again. I'm fine with running it in.
I just think, yeah. No.
I agree.
Well, you can if you want.
That was tight and you backed it right up.
Yeah, tough situation with the Ontario team here. Of course, you need to generate some points, but right now, your bigger concern is having some kind of a way to score. You're looking to run an opposition guard into 2 opposition stones at the top of the forefoot. You're probably losing one of your own at the back forefoot. He's going to have some weight here, even just to get the shooter off the center line if he's going to make the run back.
Straight field.
Well, it gets 1 yellow out, does jiggle the other one to the back of the tee line at least.
Okay. Just ideally.
And you can see from that camera angle, at least the guard has rolled off that center line a bit, so Mike says it doesn't help much, but I think it's better now than it was. It's still not good. You have a shot to score now at least.
Jimmy, Reed. Okay. Halfway, tight. That's there. Yeah. Mine's fine. Give room. Tons of room, Reed. Okay, you just gotta let it die. Whoa. Whoa. It looked like I threw the same, hey?
Try and make that double and
Oh, 2
just
feet.
free up this back one, right?
Shoot, so we'll make this double. Yeah.
Half.
Triple's not okay. Well, we have to freeze on our yellow, hey? Like it's not, that yellow's not going any, well, we can guard. Yeah.
So looking for the half rock double here. Hopefully the 1 stone will come back. Release that stone at the back. The yellow won't go anywhere, but you need the red to go. And then I guess the other part of that was you'd still love that yellow that you're running back to spin off now. This was definitely a backwards motion on release. He's going to just wick that stone, moves it over, but doesn't give himself any kind of better angle.
We can't.
And yeah, exactly, with the little tap here. Reed taps to frozen, and I think you can steal a 2 on the board without even throwing the last rock.
Sorry.
Just a hair more than your first descend, Reed.
Or they may have to throw that in off on that the stone that picked. That might be their only shot. Don't know whether they'll be able to score that way, but you can probably cut it down to 1 anyway.
You gonna draw get there?
No, because I brought you top button, so.
It's almost no harder than the in-off.
Exactly, they're talking that in-off. I mean, this is Inglis team here is in big trouble even if Reed doesn't throw this rock.
Not really.
That's lots. Reed's close.
Trying to get this one to curl now. Has to get close to the nose. You sure don't want to spill off this and leave a port to the button. Well, that nice little spin back at the end might be enough to
good,
not leave
actually.
any kind of roll in.
Couldn't call it, but they come in off this.
I think the only shot she's got to score is to come in off the red.
I think you just try and. Yeah. You want me to sweep? Yeah.
Now they're going to try to play in off the yellow on the back end of the other one, but to me from here, of course we're not at ice level, it doesn't look like she can get enough of the inside of that yellow to get to the back end of the other yellow.
Well, and where that top yellow is sitting on the 4-foot, to play the in off, you're just hitting a micrometer on that stone. It's just a redirect to try to come in off that red corner.
Yeah, but this shot doesn't score. You're conceding one as soon as you put the broom down for this shot.
Okay.
It was the best she could do with that. And it's another steal of one, so Joanne Courtney and Reed Carruthers will take a 6-1 lead into the fourth end break.
Look at you, sitting there eating crisps.
They're chips.
They're crisps, and that's a killing, Tony, and you're missing it.
I'm watching it.
You should be there with your kin, feeling the cold of the ice, hearing the roar of the game, and drinking the cold, cold barley nectar.
You mean beer?
Barley nectar. Now get off your duff and live it live.
Curling Canada is home to the most celebrated series of curling championships the world has to offer. You've got to live it live.
Before there was ice, there was our hallway at home. I was always the shy, quiet kid who loved math. But when I saw math come alive in the geometry of the game, I found my passion and my voice. It's a game of precision, a game of inches. It's the equation that now defines who I am.
Two months premature and a heart condition. One might say I was born to overcome challenges. I searched for my place in this world, and I found it here. This pebbled ice is where I battle now. I have my sights set on the Olympics, and I will push hard to get there.
Hello and welcome back to the Canadian Mixed Doubles Championship here in Saskatoon at the Newtowna Curling Club. We are presently in our fourth end break with our feature game, so we will just do a quick review of the scoreboards across the other 7 games. On sheet A, just finishing up still in the fourth end, we have Don McEwen, Mike McEwen leading the Desjardins by 3-1. Going across to sheet 2, we have Nancy Martin and Caitlin Schneider with a 3-2 lead over Michelle Crook and Jason Gunlickson. Sheet 3, Kaylin Park and Charlie Thomas are leading 4-3 in their third end. Sheet 4, Julia Hunter, Alex Robichard are playing Sherry Justin, Derek Samagalski. That game just tied up 5-5 after 4. Sheet F, Marliese Kastner, Dustin Keltoff off to a big lead, and they're just putting up the fourth end score where they've stolen another 2 to take a 7-1 lead over Dawn DeLee and Ryan Dice. Sheet 7, Emma Miskew, Ryan Fry are tied up at 4 playing Lisa Menard and Ray Baker. And sheet 8, our 8th and final game, we have Aaron Porter, Corey Shue from Newfoundland really taking it to our champions, former champions from Ontario, Kim Tuck, Wayne Tuck, and they have a 6-0 lead.
They were the 2014 champions.
So just a minute left here.
Just returning from the break, and they did need to take the break. A couple of players had to use the facilities. There's quite a lineup actually during the fourth end break from some of the players only a few bathrooms, and everybody seemed to take the break at the same time this time around.
Well, and the thing is, all the fans decide then, too, that that's what they're going to do. So
yeah, I suppose. Made a run down myself in between, and we've been having a few intermittent microphone problems. I think we got one more sorted out here, but still having trouble hearing one of the players.
I just played the second one. Okay. And I guess the first
The problem we run into is when all the lights say they're working and and we can't hear them, then we don't know what to do.
Yeah, so we went from the final to the curling club, and I'm like,
Take one quick look at the standings. These teams will be back on the ice in the next draw.
I don't think I made any shots that game.
Both Pool A and Pool B,
something.
some fairly recognizable names
It's amazing.
starting off at 2-0. Of course, as we discussed earlier in the day, there are 12 teams going into the playoffs. It will be the team that wins each pool, goes through to the quarterfinals.
Looks pretty good from here.
The other 8 teams start back in what would normally be the 16 round of the draw.
3?
And it's single elimination once they get to the playoffs as well.
Corner tick?
Both of our teams here in this feature game won their game this morning, so both coming in at 1-0. Somebody's going to go to 2-0 here. Right now, Joanne Courtney and Reed Carruthers look pretty good for that.
Well, all you can do is tell yourself that this is a game that you can come back in. And as we've seen already, there's one game out here on sheet 4 that team is up 5-0 after 2 ends, and the next thing you know, it's 5-5 after 4 ends. So everything is possible out here. You have to keep your mental focus on that and realize that not only scoring multiple points with hammer is a possibility, stealing multiple points is also another strong possibility. A lot of that is a factor of the sense that you can't remove any rocks from play until that fourth throw of the end.
And here we get a case of using their power play. Team Ontario trying to generate some points that way, and Reed Carruthers playing that shot to try to tick that guard into the rings.
It's probably the first time you've ever played that shot in your life.
And Reed nails it perfectly and has to have it removed. Well, an interesting comment from Joanne too, you know, coming from the team that specializes in tick shots and whatever, and this one would be a new one to that repertoire.
You know, that's a fairly new shot to any repertoire. You don't see that tick played very often on the corner guard. So looking now to bring another one around that corner. And we'll pull it into the 12-foot. Looks to be half behind cover. You can't hit yet anyway. Reed looking at the tap. You can't remove that stone.
So again, that's another really interesting situation with only 5 rocks that you have to throw. You can't hit anything out of play. Do you put another one over on another corner guard like you perhaps would in standard 4-person curling? But we have seen most teams opt to draw around the 1 corner guard as compared to setting up a second corner.
I think I'm a little late. Mine's close, yep. Oh, it's really going.
Well,
gotta go, Reed. Gotta go.
Well, Joanne thought she was light. This is really curling. You'd hate to leave 2 guards. Looks like he's going to get it by. Does.
Go. Help. Good shot.
Well, still sitting 2.
Sitting 2 in that Yellowstone in the 12-foot is essentially a guard.
Or a straight draw.
Well, and like walking is a lot of work. So they're still 1-2, hey?
And, you know, they're still looking at playing something around that corner guard, but...
double?
And we've talked about it a bit. People get blinders on with this rule format, and I'm looking at this thinking, draw to the 4 foot on the open side.
Well, I thought, am I crazy here for thinking of splitting the rings?
How did they ignore that stone?
Going 8 foot.
Yeah.
The other way.
Trying so hard to score a million that you're going to force them to play on that side, and your rocks are all grouped.
Well, especially with the hitting capability of both Reed and Joanne, I think leaving that rock in the top 12 foot is dangerous. You've just given them a, whoa, this is not going to be plan A. They do have a biter, and it is past these red.
Past the tee line. That's not a terrible shot.
I think if our camera angle's true there and they did catch a bite, that's still a rock that then
Yeah, I threw it here.
Have to be concerned about because that's available for the straight back tap back.
Surprised you're seeing Ben.
Well, certainly looks from that camera angle like that rock is probably biting the rings. Not that
So
that's
not
the
that
one.
you want to tap that one anymore. You just quite like to leave it there, but probably the only way to get to the yellow right now.
Okay, so nose is fine.
Nose
here.
is totally fine, yeah. I think you
I've got a
take
little
like
bit of
this
air.
much with control.
Okay. That same control as yesterday.
Yeah, I
come up
totally
with
agree.
air.
So Joanne has made some very nice shots here.
Yep. Whoa!
And we haven't seen very many rocks thrown this far out into the wings, so this could be a bit of a guess on the line.
Yep.
Hard on the yellow.
Sit.
Well, curled a little farther than she would have liked on that one. Makes the hit, but rolls past all the cover out into the open.
Now sets up a
Great movement, sorry.
great possibility here
Jump.
for Mike.
Huh?
Now what I'm not sure is
Yeah, just like
who's
yesterday,
thrown that
like-
number 6
Good shot.
rock, if it's been put into play yet or not.
Well, he said he wasn't going to throw it again all week, so
What do you think the broom?
perhaps they threw it with the first stone.
What do you think for a broom?
They probably just want to play an end without a pick. Just let us throw, get 5 results
Just the other
here.
side of center?
So looking for the little hit and flop on shot stone. Probably doesn't want to get dead in behind cover either. If you could be about half in behind, that would leave you room to play this shot onto the yellow. Again, you need an opportunity to do that, but definitely wanted to get across the face. That actually rolls a little bit farther into the open. May have left room for the double, certainly room for the hit and roll.
How much?
2/3. Half rock, 2/3.
It's an interesting
Like
one.
normal at it?
I think
Out turn?
Joanne had asked how much she needed to hit, and I think half's
could
probably
play
the right
the
answer, but she can't see enough to hit
play
half,
the
so he
intern.
told her
Intern.
2/3.
Intern's fine.
Okay.
Even just the hit and roll is
Okay,
good.
intern
Even
and
just roll it over there is fine.
Yep. Let's,
Just center line pretty
Yeah.
much. Okay.
Yeah.
It's getting late enough in the end. If you just roll over there and
intern
sit
and
two,
normal, yeah, edge
there's
and
not a
rock.
lot of
Okay.
time left for
Keep it solid.
Team Ontario to try to get both of those yellows out. They can still generate 2 without that, but hard to bring the other 2 stones back into play if they can't get the yellows out.
Hard! Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Makes the hit and does roll over to the corner of that red stone.
Better than double.
Well, in fact,
Let's try.
as Reed just said, that's even better. It takes away any kind of a run back opportunity that you might have with that front little biter.
Whichever you like. I don't care. Real good.
Mike looked at the run back first, but I think they got to try to play the freeze into that and just try to get your 2. I think at this point in time, your chances of bringing those other 2 reds back into play doesn't look very good.
If they get 2, it's not the end of the world here.
Yeah, there's no
We're in the power play.
Yeah.
We could almost play it next. Just for the sake of
Scoring in 6 and they probably should.
yeah.
If they don't.
This is not an easy shot either.
Here, Joanne and
He's
Reed
just
already
freezing that back
looking
down.
ahead, perhaps using their own power play next end.
Oh, chop off. Oh, tapping.
Whoa! Whoa!
Well, I thought the call they had gone with was the draw here. That's definitely a tap of some sort. Didn't get the line he was looking for. Basically just kills the red stone and rolls his shooter out of play.
So it's just one of those, you know, trying to rebound from those two really nasty picks there in the third and fourth ends, and then it gets to where you're just pressing, and the harder you try, when the wheel starts to fall off, it seems to fall off a little quicker than normal.
I want to sweep everything in this spot.
Touching 4. I'm going to take a nice draw.
But that was a great hit and roll by Joanne. Like, that was,
Just give it to me.
to get that corner freeze on the yellow was heartbreaker there.
And you hear them talking about where they want this stone. Reed said just touching the forefoot, and of course what he's thinking there, if you slide this too deep at all, she can play the nose hit. You'd like to put this where it'll take away as much of the rings as possible, but she still has to play a draw.
I think you can a bit. Yep, go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, Joe. A little bit. Yep.
Well, to get that little bite of the forefoot, she can't even
fully
nose hit.
Go. Good sweep.
Great sweep. Curl.
Yeah.
Sure. Out turn.
Does the job.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep, Reed's right.
Didn't see any indication as to which turn they were going to play here to get there. We did see in one of the earlier games having to throw a stone a little bit wider to get by a stone at the top of the 8 foot, which is essentially what she's going to have to do here. They found the path a little bit slicker and, or pardon me, a little bit heavier, came up short. I believe that was Chelsea Carey perhaps in the last draw.
Thank you.
Ends good.
Not much out of the brush so
Danielle's
far.
been
The
a little
line's
heavy
getting
in this
tighter.
spot.
Well, no mistake there. Puts it on the back half of the button. Does pick up the single point.
Keeps them in the game.
Reed Carruthers and Joanne Courtney now lead 6-2, and they had discussed, I think they're going to play their power play. Yep. So back-to-back, and this is the second time today we've seen back-to-back for first for the offensive reason. Again, didn't work out quite right. Now we're seeing it for defense. They're trying to keep the middle open so they have a shot to score. Even if they just score one, they'd be 5 up with 2 ends to play.
Well, again, that decision for the Inglis-Anderson team when they had that opportunity to sit 3 and, you know, opting to keep grouping those 3 rocks together. And I think that was just a textbook of all it took was one good shot from Joanne to eliminate all 3 of those.
Well, and they didn't make the shot very well either, tapping the yellow in, but
and
yeah, it just
set up that.
Peel, right? Peel thing?
It just helped.
Probably the hardest shot they had available too. You know, the wide open draw to the open side. That's like what's so hard about that? That's the easiest shot. There's no line to worry about. It's just get it in for shot rock, and it's real tough, especially for a team with a big lead, to ignore that open stone. They almost have to play it.
Around the center, and then on yours you play the peel. Well, yeah.
Especially if you take it in deep,
I like that.
they hit, and if they don't peel it out, you're freezing on top. Now you've got them in even more grave difficulty there, but again, it was a call that you might debate, but you still need the execution.
Well, looking to throw the center guard in this situation, and they're going to have to work to get it over. Well, if you were playing in a normal game where you needed to steal and that was your first rock of the end, you'd say, okay, well, we've got the long one.
That's right.
Now we're going to need a tight guard, and they will still, but you know, that rock can be used to guard a tight guard. They are kind of committed at this point. They're going to have to make a quick decision. Are they going to go all out for the steal? And I think the scoreboard dictates they have to.
I think you're there, Reed.
Line's good. Yep, go ahead. Gotta go. Go hard. Good sweep.
Sorry, Reed.
Yeah, I think it's coming down
Down a hair?
Yep.
Yep.
That's not
Certainly
bad.
would have liked that a couple of feet deeper, but it's still your rock. And
Intern peel at this?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it is dead buried, and being that high on this ice, that's still essentially a guard. And that's the way Mike Anderson's going to try to use it.
well, especially with that very long guard sitting in front of it too, it takes away any immediate run backs.
Yeah. Line's getting really nice as this comes in. Just a question of where it's going to stop now. Looks like this is going to be a little deep.
Sorry.
And we'll slide all the way to the back 12 foot. Now the chance to get rid of that long guard. Reed's making his way down to the far end to sweep. I'm sure they're looking at the peel here.
And I'm sure Joanna's not going to put this right on the nose, but if she did and it was outside of the hog line, it would still stay there.
Got it? Okay.
So the peel is made.
Thanks.
Now this is one of the other issues that you run into with these. You only get to deliver 5 stones. You're already to the point where you're kind of running out of rocks. You'd like to put another guard up, but... And that's what they're going to call one more anyway. Then you may have to try to use that yellow stone in the top 8 foot again.
That'd be, as you say, with so few rocks remaining to work with, straight guard is one thing. The other is, you know, maybe corner freezing that top yellow one that Reed put in, just to try to minimize the opposition removing your red stone.
Rock, good.
Trying to lose the yellow?
I was thinking
No,
almost
I don't think we
leave
need
either
to.
come around or we throw a corner freeze over there.
It's going to leave you a short run back for me or a pick.
Okay, half rock.
I like the...
I guess I at least needed the third chance.
Good question by Joanne.
Edge of rock?
I know it's a run.
Yeah, exact same as you just did.
Yep. Yep. Hard.
Mike and Danielle already deciding
Really
what they're going to
hard,
do now. This is over curling. Well, Mike and Danielle had already discussed what they were going to play. That probably changes the call.
I think so, yes. Seen a couple of Joanne's where I think those interns curl a little bit more than her outturn there, just the way it sort of got steered in there.
Boy, still looking for huge curl here. That yellow guard, the stone that was just delivered by Joanne Courtney, hit off the nose. It's probably 6 inches off the center line. She's got broom 6 inches into the 12 foot to come around that. So looking for over 5 feet of curl here. And early having to sweep this from the offside, trying to get it to curl. Maybe just a little light as well.
It's not bad. Not at the end of the world.
Right?
I'm mad.
No.
I'm hoping they do that.
Get the gym. Yeah.
I hit the broom on that?
Well,
I
I
was
think
pretty close.
Joanne, after nosing that peel, is pretty happy to have this shot. I think
It doesn't go on to the
Mike
yellow,
and Danielle are
Not if you're... it shouldn't,
thinking
no.
that this rock wasn't too bad, but I think Joanne was expecting to be throwing a lot more difficult shot than this one.
Well, she would have liked to have made the double, but this is going to be just a little bit on the outside. Shooter will roll away.
Sorry, I should have had you come sweep.
So one more chance for Team Ontario to bring a stone around and try to get it into a steal position. And Mike Anderson, last thing before he went down to the other end, took a quick look at what they might have to hit on that red stone to play the split. So he's thinking ahead to, they've had a few rocks hang on them if it's a little bit heavy. If
Probably easier with
she hits that red stone in the 12 foot, might be able to split it in and at least sit 2. Well, not even playing that turn, playing the in turn.
A little heavy right now.
Once again, long ways by the guard. It's going to have to curl just to get by the red guard. Does. And now starts to grab a little bit as it comes into the middle. Still going to slide behind the tee line. Back forefoot and curled so hard at the end that might be poking out into the open.
Yeah.
It is. Boy, that just got by the wide red guard, and it's overburied on the one they were coming around.
Back here.
And that's with back forefoot weight too.
Yeah.
Like it's, she would have had sweeping weight.
Okay.
That line, it might have just come right out the other side.
Okay.
Which is nice though, as curlers you're happy to have those kinds of issues. We've all played on enough straight ice that don't allow you those types of shots and opportunities. So we're certainly not complaining about the curl. It's fun watching everybody manage it.
Well, in this particular format it's even worse when it's straight. It's hard to play this format at all if you don't have any curl.
Clean! Just clean!
Nice line by the guard. Should get some finish as it comes into the rings now. Makes the tap, rolls the shooter over. Will be 2 points and handshakes.
Good luck. Thanks.
Team Ontario
Good luck.
willing to concede. Reed Carruthers and Joanne Courtney pick up the victory here. They move to 2-0. Team Ontario will go to 1-1. Still very much alive, and both these teams will play again tonight. And then tomorrow we'll see the teams starting to sort themselves out in the round robins.
Well, there's no doubt that those two really unfortunate picks that Inglis and Anderson suffered there really changed the momentum of this game. They were playing very, very well, but to get unfortunate results like that against a sharp shooting Carruthers and Courtney team just really takes the spirit out of everything. They can just rebound by saying that they were playing well, and they can bounce back in their next game.
So that's the only final we've got so far. We're going to turn our attention to the other sheet that we've got direct cameras on right now, and that's sheet 4.
This is what you would describe in my books as a wild and woolly scoreboard.
And the potential is there for it to continue to be wild and woolly.
We have Julia Hunter and Alex Robichaud from New Brunswick playing Saskatchewan's Sherry just from Saskatchewan, and Derek Samagal from Manitoba, actually Reed Carruthers' teammate there. So this type of a scoreboard is very typical of mixed doubles, where no lead is safe and the possibilities for comebacks are always rampant out there. And in fact, Sherry Just and Derek Samogolski in their game earlier today, they were the ones down 5-0 in the game and came back against the Desjardins just to only lose it by giving up 3 points in their 8th end.
Yeah, looked like they were headed to an extra end and it just slipped away from them. So as we sit here, we've got just the final stones left to come for each team. Red is sitting 1 right now, but they've also got 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And as you can see from that shot, there is a good angle on that red-yellow, so they can kill the yellow. Derek and Sherry were looking for a long time at what to do here. I think they're trying to break up the angle on the red-yellow and still sit in front of the red. So just looking for a little wiggle here. It's got a curl. Can't stay on the broom side of the red, should leave a double. Well, pretty good, I think. Is there room to get to the inside of that? Maybe. Maybe just. Or do they just draw for 2? Or do you have the slash double on that stone at the top of the 8-foot for 3 or 4 as well? I think they've elected to play the draw.
So Julia Hunter in the hack to throw this last shot. In turn draw, I believe, for the 2 points. So as you can tell from their Team New Brunswick sweaters here, they are their provincial representatives. University students here, so this draw came up just a bit light, so opportunity there that slips away from them. So anyways, Alex here, as I said, university student, he's 21 years old, and we all know that this is exam time, but it's pretty exciting to be in a national championship. Alex has had a really good season this year. He's been playing in several New Brunswick championships of different levels. Was at just recently too at the junior men's in Stratford at the end of January, where they finished 8th. So Alex, I hope you're not taking a full class load, because it's going to be a tough April if you are. Now, as we have not been following this game, I'm not sure what setup they will have here for the power play, if Derek and Sherry are going to opt for that. We are just miking up the players so that we can hear how their last 2 ends if they don't go to the extra play out. So we're just taking a quick time out, just reviewing some of the other scores. I don't have Carrie here to flash the camera on the scoreboards, but we do have Don McEwen, Mike McEwen with a 7-1 lead over the Desjardins team. Close game here on sheet 2 with Nancy Martin, Caitlin Schneider playing Michelle Crook and Jason Gunlickson. And that score is 4-3 for the Gunlickson squad playing the 7th end. Kaylin Park, Charlie Thomas, our defending champions, are all tied up playing the 7th end against Ashley Uwasi. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, Ashley. And Mark Anderson from Manitoba. I will get that pronunciation later. Marlies Kasner, Dustin Keltoff have finished off their game against Donda Lee and Ryan Dice. That game's over at 10-2. Emma Miskew, Ryan Fry playing Lisa Menard and Ray Baker. That game is starting to break open here for the Miskew Fry. They're up 7-5. And finally, the last game to report on sheet 8, playing in their 6th end, Aaron Porter, Corey Shue are up 7-1 still over Kim Tuck and Wayne Tuck. So nice to get the microphones on our second feature game here. Well done.
Well, it's nice, you know, it's a Curling Canada broadcast, so the officials have been very good about making sure that we have the chance to do it. This is the first draw that we've had a chance when a game ended early, and there was still one relatively close. 3 ends to play. We're expecting some Roxy play here. Certainly it's been a barn burner of a game so far.
Well, I wondered if they were going to set up the power play. Not watching this game, we weren't sure if that option had been taken, but they have gone with the corner guard set up here. And still waiting for that 6th end score of 1 to go up for the red Robichaud team.
So with that stone sliding to the tee line, Sherry just looking to come down and freeze or perhaps bump this stone a little bit.
So Derek and Sherry escaped a bit of a bullet there in that 6th end. It looked like there were opportunities there for multiple points for the New Brunswick crew.
Gets the little tap, so.
You like the guard or the freeze again? Freeze? Okay. Were you edge of 8? Okay, I'll go just outside edge. Get down maybe?
Difficult situation here now for the New Brunswick team. Down 2 ends to go. The power play in play here, and they didn't get that first guard up, so
just you.
Trying to scramble here.
Whoa.
You'd still love to steal, but in this format, if you could force to a single, getting 3 coming home is not impossible.
We had one game in our Saskatchewan provincial playoffs there back 3 weeks or so ago, and tie game after 6, and one team, actually Sherry was playing in that game. They took 4 in the 7th end, gave up 4 in the 8th end, and then Sherry and her partner won that in the extra. Sherry playing with a different partner at the Saskatchewan provincials as compared to Derek. Derek was playing out of Manitoba. But again, it was expect the unexpected. You never turn off this game until the... Oh!
Oh, and we have a fall there. And
are you okay?
Burned rock.
And that's a burnt stone, and so they'll wait now, I think, for the officials to come over and
figure out what happened there.
Well, that's one of the things in a mixed doubles. There's no observer, so you have to remember where the stones were too.
This one's gone, right? Okay, so I think that was close, probably, because I couldn't do this and get rid of it. So that's probably,
yeah, I think it was.
I think you're probably close.
Yeah.
Or was that farther
was this? I think this might have been farther back.
Maybe that's too
and
far.
like
Maybe it's
too far.
Yeah, because I was close to making. I thought you were like close to it.
Okay. Oh yeah, because yeah.
And it was gonna not
right.
touch it, right? I think that's close.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
And again, that is one of the really beautiful things about curling is how it's self-officiated like this. I mean, it was pretty clear there was an infraction there, but how cooperative everybody is in deciding what goes on here. Clearly, as the offending team, you have sort of little to no say at all in where it goes. But when you're consulted like that and you need help trying to figure out where those rocks went, and again, the spirit of how that comes about, that's what differentiates curling from a lot of sports out there.
It's still a little different when it's the woman that falls. You know, you get into men's play, especially if it's a team you know real well, you'd fall down and hit a rock like that and you'd get up and say, I think I might have touched that stone.
Gotta go for the line. Gotta go for the line.
Well, at least
really
it wasn't on
line.
the last rock of the end.
Yes, for sure. Well, for New Brunswick, it does give them a chance now. The end was not shaping up well for them. They've got, by getting to essentially throw 2 rocks in a row, they've got a chance here to get something set up. Surprised they didn't throw a guard there, to be honest.
So you're...
Well, they do have to be...
Yeah.
They could have guarded their stone in the front of the forefoot.
Absolutely, and...
This just plays right into Derek and Sherry's hands.
Might just
They're
stick around though.
happy to eliminate
like
stones.
That, or like his probably gonna stick around. Our 7 might roll like back 12, and they're still sitting 2 if it clips the 5.
Well, did they call that shot in the house, or was it just a guard that came deep?
No, I think they were playing right
just
in.
trying to sit right on top and freeze it, guard it that way.
So manages to remove 3 stones there, 1 of his own and 2 red. Now just
kind of like the head, eh?
Now the New Brunswick team almost forced to just try to hold them to 1.
Well,
tough to play for steal and a rock in the back forefoot. You can't give up 3 here.
Again, it's always
gotta roll in
what you want to leave your opposition to for their last shot. That if you were going into hardcore steal here, if that was your game plan for this end.
Tough to hardcore steal a rock in the back 8 foot. That's they had the chance to guard with the last one, and I think that's where they needed to play it.
Whoa.
But we still have 2 rocks left here this end, so
other way.
I don't know.
Whoa! Got to roll a little bit into the middle. He's got to make sure he gets second shot here, and does not. So So now Derek with a chance to hit and sit 2.
That's my fault.
Well, I don't know. My thinking on that last one was if you did throw the tight center guard up your rock in the back 8. They have to figure out what to do with that. Then they peel the center. Then they're looking at 2 on their last one. Different ways to try to carve out the steal, but by not rolling in for a second shot here, it certainly opened up advantage back to Sherry and Derek. So Derek tossing down his throwing aid.
That's a corn broom. He should just sweep with it. He would have had to declare that before the game.
You don't have enough to do that, eh? I don't think it's worth it. Just try to roll here to make it tough.
It was kind of fun. We saw where Derek left his broom there. It's about 6 feet over the hog, just off the center line.
Okay.
And earlier today, the Robichaud and
Probably
Hunter
here.
team were playing against the McEwens.
Control.
And Mike McEwen is in that exact same situation where he's got his, whatever you call
Plenty of time
that
for
throwing
loss, then.
aid, taped up broom is. So he had thrown his rock, put his broom down, sort of halfway halfway between the center line and the boards. It's about 10 feet over the hog line where he finishes up his sweep. He had run and gone and got his sweeping broom, and off they go. So then everybody, though, forgot to remove that broom. And so when
just a bit inside that.
Julia went to go throw a wide in-turn draw, there's Alex sweeping and kicking this broom out of the way so that her rock doesn't burn it. So he's probably thinking, oh, these Manitoba people with all these brooms in the way here. It was a kind of a funny moment. Nobody was too worried about it, but it's not your normal curling situation.
Well, this one's really curling. They're going to have to go hard just to get a piece. And not going to. It's going to slide by.
Setting up a draw for 3 and...
Draw for 3 and probably...
handshake.
Suddenly handshakes.
Okay.
Well, you talked about the wild and woolly scoreboard. This would be in a game that may only go 7 ends. This will be the 4th 3-ender.
3 do we play? Yeah, I think we play it. We can take 5 with the power play. Huh?
Except you've used your power play.
So Sherry just needing a piece of the 8 foot for this third point.
I don't think we will.
Derek just providing a light dusting.
Yeah, Derek seemed to think that stone might be a little heavy, almost trying to urge it to stop, but will come to rest.
3.
Back 4 foot. It is 3.
We'll play the next one.
And they are going to start the end at least. Do they still have their power play left? I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not sure
the game
we have
started, so
because that was the Sherry and Derek one that was called.
Yeah.
I think they were going to go with the power play. It sounded like they hadn't used it.
On the thing here. She's like, oh, I've never been on the thing before. Like, oh, okay, now we're not on. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
She was like, oh no. Scratched her face. It looks like she fell pretty hard.
Yeah, I was worried for a bit there. We'll do the power play. On which side? This side. That's what I like about it, though. It's so unpredictable.
While they set that up, we'll just remind everybody, next draw is at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we're going to cover Team Northwest Territories. Brown and Kaiser against Jocelyn Peterman and Brett Gallant. We'll have to get the story as to how those two ended up playing on the same team as well. You've got another quite spread out pair. Maritimes and Alberta. So needing only to eliminate 2 rocks, Sherry Just Comes after that red one first, moves it just a little bit.
He's coming into sweep. Good move there by Alex. Heads up. You know, if that rock was out of play. So where we had talked earlier about how sweepers weren't in position to possibly, that one wasn't going to go out, but at least he was aware that sweep was needed.
He still was out of position because he was having to rush in there at the end.
We got a player on the guard.
But again, as the play in the house, you're used to the sweeper coming in behind to come sweep that rock, and now you got somebody barreling down from in front. All the little nuances that you have to get used to in this game.
Looks like Sherry just poked that stone just enough to be open.
How's line?
Won't be able to hit that stone just yet either, but as long as they have a chance to remove it eventually. Now this one's going to have to make the rings, or they'll only need to make one takeout when they get the chance. And it will come up just a little bit short, probably close enough to split though.
I think that's pretty much the game. Yeah.
Both of these teams lost their openers, so somebody looking to pick up their first win here right now. Derek Samagalski and Sherry Just in a strong position to do that.
Gotta try to split it in, right? Wow.
Alex writes that they do have to try to split it in, but I'm not so sure that they have to do it just yet.
Oh, thanks.
You play to split it in now, and the shooter's going to end up in the open.
Have to split it. Just board? Huh? Board? A hit? Got a curl. Got a curl.
Ooh, that needs to be swept. Just anything, just to help that future split if you need it. That yellow rock, even just every little quarter inch that you can get it moved over is going to help if you ever get the chance.
I know what you're looking at, but it's not bad where it is because there was going to be 2 open red stones, and now with where that yellow has ended up, the second open redstone might jam.
Well, and say even if the yellow, even if you weren't worried about 12-foot positioning, every little bit that it was moving towards the boards was helping your red one. So again, just one of those developmental things that you need to learn.
I think all your hopes and dreams at this point in time rely on Derek or Sherry jamming something onto that stone later on anyway.
And Derek basically takes away 2 shots with 1 with that, but
draw around.
Looking at the draw around, you could almost actually just play the push on the red and roll over in front of that yellow too. Bring it closer to the center would make the split easier later. They're looking at the freeze onto the yellow. That's not bad either, especially if you get the angle to drive it onto the yellow at the back. Well, although I speak too soon. There's too many stones left for that. You do that, they hit it. They don't care if they jam because it'll be open on the next one.
Got a curl. Got a curl. Got a curl.
Well, needed to get at least to the face on that, and they'll chip it and roll over, but by staying wide open, it's an open hit for Derek. Just needs to make this stone go away, and they will be out of rocks, and it'll be handshakes.
No doubt about this shot.
Well, put the broom inside the rock and throw it hard. You make it go away. That's another final. Derek Samagelski, Sherry Just, after a heartbreaker this morning, pick up their first win. They move to 1-1. New Brunswick team now at 0-2, and really in these pools there's going to be some ties. We know there's going to be some ties for the playoff spots. Typically it's 4-3 is that spot where you're going to end up tied, so you can afford 2, but if you've got 2 early, you really need to pick it up. Couple of games still in play, so we're going to take a quick look around and I think turn our attention. Just a couple of rocks left to come on sheet 2.
Pivotal 7th end here for the Nancy Martin, Caitlin Schneider crew, picking up 4 to take a commanding 3-point lead against Michelle Crook and Jason Gunlickson.
And I think the Crook Gunlickson team still had their power play left, looking at the position of the stones, so they used it this end, and they're in good position to score 2 right now. Unfortunately, they need to score 3 to tie, so they need a miscue here.
And Martin Schneider are the Red Rocks.
And this is their final stone. If she can just make this stone go away.
Caitlin Schneider putting a bit of a sweep on it early
well,
here, but
still on the red, I think. Still on the red, but it has enough to drive that yellow out, so no chance now to score 3. That is handshakes there. Nancy Martin and Caitlin Schneider will pick up the victory. And we'll turn our attention one more sheet over. The McEwens playing the Desjardins. We only have to know 2 last names here.
Well, the Desjardins came up with a steal of 2 in the 7th end to be 1 down without coming home.
And the McEwens had their power play still.
So Mike looks like
just needs to make this go away.
So Dawn throwing the last stone here. This one is wide open. Trying to draw around corner, freeze that, but just stayed out. Wide open.
And just the one other game in play all the way across the building on sheet 8. And the final stone just delivered there. Looks like that one's a final as well. We'll update all the scores here in a moment.
So no doubt by Dawn there.
Makes the hit, stays right there, didn't need to, picks up the 2 points and the victory. So quickly updating all the scores here in this 4th draw. With that score of 2, Mike and Dawn McEwen pick up the 9-6 victory over Emily and Robert Desjardins.
That leaves the McEwens with the 2-0 record, Desjardins at 1-1.
Nancy Martin and Caitlin Schneider had the, will go down as a 7-4 victory over Michelle Crook and Jason Gunlickson. Now Martin and Schneider at 2-0 as well.
And Crook Gunlickson at 0-2.
Kaylin Park, Charlie Thomas, they moved to 2-0 as well with a 10-6 victory over Ashley Awazik and Mike Anderson. Julia Hunter and Alex Robichaud, you saw the tail end of that game. Team New Brunswick just coming up short. One bad end really wrote the story for them. Sherry Just and Derek Samagelski coming off of a heartbreaker this morning with the 11-6 victory. Our feature game initially, Reed Carruthers and Joanne Courtney, an 8-2 victory over Danielle Inglis and Mike Anderson.
And they moved to 2-0. Danielle and Mike are at 1-1.
Dustin Kaltoff and Marliese Kasner, Team Saskatchewan, with a 10-2 victory over mother and son, Ryan Dice and his mother, Dondalee Dice.
So Marliese and Dustin at 2-0, and the Dices at 0-2.
Emma Miskew and Ryan Fry pick up the victory, 7-6 over Lisa Menard, Ray Baker.
For their first win in their first game.
No, that'll be their second one. They came into it at 1-0. Everybody played 11:30 in this draw. And on sheet 8, Aaron Porter and Corey Shewan, they were 4 up coming home, and I don't think they had to. Did they have to throw a final stone? They did. They picked up 2 So it goes into the books as a 10-4 final over the 2014 champions, Kim and Wayne Tuck. So we will be back on the air at 6:30. Just a reminder, it'll be Jocelyn Peterman and Brett Gallant against Team Northwest Territories. We want to thank everybody for joining us, and we'll see you again at 6:30.